So it's getting to the end of 2025, and you might be thinking, is now the right time to start looking at reviewing my property portfolio and my strategy going into 2026? Well, actually, you should be doing that fairly regularly anyway. You should be more targeted and more aware of not the end of the calendar year, but what's happening in the property market. Now, if you look at the predictions for what's going to happen in the property market over the next 12 months or so, it shows that there's going to be like a slow and gradual and sustained recovery of the property market. But what does recovery mean? Because there's already properties that are selling, there's already buyers out there that are buying, there's already sellers out there that are selling. So it's working. So what does it mean by recovery? Whenever industry experts talk about the recovery of the market, what they're talking about is the market heating up and the market getting more busy. Now, at the minute, the market isn't busy. There's more stock on the market now than there has been for about 10 years. This market right now is the best buyer's market, which is why you should be interested, that there has been for a long, long time. A buyer's market means there are more properties on the market, the price is not going up too fast, and therefore sellers are more incentivized to sell those properties, which the interesting thing for you is that means that they're more likely to take a discount. Therefore, right now, with the market not going through that recovery, right now is the best opportunity that you have to find a good deal or a series of good deals. Because the longer that you wait into 2026 and the more that market heats up, the less likely you are, because it's going to change from a buyer's market into a seller's market. And when it's a seller's market, it means that there are more buyers on the market than there are sellers, right? So therefore, instead of just looking at strategy and just reviewing whether you're doing HMOs or flips or whatever, you need to think, when am I most likely to find the best deal? Now, if you review that kind of thing regularly, the question that you're going to ask yourself is, does strategy matter as much right now? Does it matter if I'm looking for a flip or a HMO or a buy to let or a commercial conversion or any other property strategy or a title split? It doesn't matter. What you should be asking yourself is, when am I most likely to find the best deal? And the answer to that question, you have no control over, because that's all about the market and the market conditions. So right now is the best opportunity that you have to find the best deal. So instead of looking at strategy specific, instead of saying, I'm only going to do this or I'm only going to do that, the question that you should be asking is, when am I going to find the best deal? And that's right now. So instead of just looking at HMOs or instead of just looking at flips or commercial conversions, what you might want to do is say, well, look, I'm talking to estate agents all the time because I'm already looking for flips. So instead of just talking to them about flips, I'm going to start talking to them about buy-to-lets and retaining property. And I'm going to start talking to them about HMOs, because it's still the one person that you're talking to, because the same residential estate agent has access to all of that stuff. So it doesn't cost you any more time. You talk to them and you get that information out of them on all of those different strategies. And if you do it now, the sooner you do it, the more likely you are to find an owner of those properties that is willing to take a big discount. And it's those big discounts that increase your wealth. Okay, it's great if a HMO has a really good rental return, of course. The return that a property makes is always going to be important. But it's those big chunks of equity that you can negotiate at the beginning of buying a property. That's where you really accelerate your wealth. So in review, of course, you should be reviewing your portfolio. You should also be reviewing and thinking about the direction that you're moving and whether you're being as effective as you can be in building your property wealth. Of course, you should be doing that, but never, ever, ever sacrifice quality. Make sure that you're educated and make sure that you know exactly what the limitations are and the possibilities are. And if you put all of that together and you focus on quality, then you'll have a great 2026.